Hi everyone, I'm really excited to show you what we have in Autopart for Klipboard Money in current functionality. Before I share my screen, I want us to bear in mind three things: simplicity, efficiency and security. Simplicity, payment should be the simplest thing in an ERP system. Efficiency, we should be driving cost to serve, we should be driving the speed to serve, and we should be doing this as securely as we can. Bear those three pillars in mind as we look through each of the options that you see. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, this is a screen in Autopart that you should all be very familiar with, the Autopart point of sale screen. I've already keyed in my operator initials and customer code. I'm going to swap to product details and enter a product. Simply press sell and you'll now have a Klipboard Money button in the method of payment screen. Pressing this allows you to select any relevant terminal that's on the counter. You can choose from any multiple of them. By pressing OK, the amount will present directly on the Klipboard Money device as so. By paying the amount on contactless, we'll see in Autopart that the transaction has been successfully completed from a remote distance. The pin entry device could essentially be the other side of the counter or several feet away, and you have full control and vision of what's going on. Should the device say enter card and enter PIN, you'll see that as a dialog in this screen. The second thing I'd like to show you is how this appears on an invoice. Capturing those usual cash slip prints can be embedded in the document type, or they could be going through a cash slip printer if that's the style that you use. In a similar vein of thought, you may wish to issue a pay by link for a cardholder not present over the phone. Again, hop into Sell. In Klipboard Money button, you'll also have noticed there's a pay by link button at the bottom of the screen. By pressing this, it will default to the account email address, and I have my email address in here for demo purposes. You can select any pre-existing email address stored in the account file maintenance, or enter a new email address ad hoc, and simply send a link from point of sale for the exact value in a secure and efficient manner. This email is being created and will be processed by the Autopart system through the mail service handling out to the customer there and then. The document is obviously generated, and if we look in accounting in invoice inquiry, you'll see a slightly different style of what's embedded on the document. So here we have a clickable link. The customer will likely be opening the PDF on a screen, therefore the link is a hyperlink and be clicked directly, but we also embed a QR code optionally in the footer of the document so the customer can scan on their own personal device and complete payment. Typical email coming from the system looks like this. So you get a QR code in the top left hand corner and again a clickable link generated by the system. If we follow that link through into the Klipboard Money payment portal, you will see the customer is presented with a professional and, in your terms, brandable, where we have the Klipboard diamonds in the top left hand corner, payment portal. They will enter their details into the screen at their own leisure with a number of optional and mandatory fields. By continuing to method of payment, we present the payment options. Klipboard Money is, of course, Apple Pay and Google Pay compliant. Customers can choose to pay their value in the simplest and easiest way that they're very accustomed to in a retail setting, or they can enter the card number. If I enter the card number for my test card, please don't try and use these card details anywhere else. They are test card details, they will not work. Payment completes. So payment completes, and that payment, as soon as it completes, is picked up by Autopart on a polling interval and is picked up in the software, allocated to the ledger, posted as paid. If I swap to the ledger side of Autopart and the system that you frequently use, Looking at account inquiry, we'll be able to see that. So by scrolling down to the latest transaction, we have a number that are sent for payment invoices. I can pull up an example in the middle of the pack here of one that has been paid. As I bring a copied screen, we also see those payment details repeated. Another frequent occurrence for customers, unfortunately, are credits and returns. So let's address that. We have a number of efficiency options in credits and returns. The first efficiency marker is that the monies can be returned to the paying card immediately, without the need to represent the card. Especially for a payment link, we can return and refund the payment link source funds, and that can track through to the original source bank account if the card has been replaced. However, just so that this is clear, I'm going to bring up the credit screen. I've entered my operator, my customer retail. I'm going to search for the recent invoice that's relevant. I'll bring up the last retail face-to-face one as an example. I'll select all lines. And I will pick a credit reason code. You will have your own credit reason codes, or you may be using the standard credit reason codes, and you'll apply like normal the reason that you want to go ahead with this, and that of course decides whether or not the stock is updated. Faulty items would not necessarily be booked back into stock where just a standard return would be. I'm going to put this through as wrong part and issue credit. On this occasion, the pay by link had not been paid yet, so this has cancelled the outstanding pay by link. If the payment had been completed, it would immediately reverse the payment back to the existing card. Another common occurrence is just raising an ad hoc payment link. When looking at a customer's account in the ledger side of the software, you may wish to just issue a payment link for a set amount. By using the bottom right hand button here for Pay by Link through Klipboard Money, you can generate your own value payment link issued to a customer via email so they can securely pay, again with whichever payment method they find fit, be Apple Pay, Google Pay or direct by card. You can send an ad hoc value straight out. That ad hoc value can also be allocated to any outstanding payments or due balances on the system. So I will send out £150 payment link, and this will simply send to the customer with that value and any particular reference number that you wish to portray. Again, you can choose which email address that goes to if it's not the standard email address that you use for that customer, and the payment link's on its way out of the system to the customer for payment. Once paid, at the time of sending the payment link for an ad hoc or for a statement balance, we write away the individual transactions that are concerned at that point in time, so that when the payment link is completed and the return result comes back into the system, we can allocate against the right documents. We can allocate against the documents that you chose or the customer chose that were appropriate for that payment value. The fourth interesting contingent of Klipboard Money is generating payment links on statements. So by going through your normal statement printing routine, you will likely go into reports and generate payments on the statement printing monthly. In the bottom right hand corner of the header screen, if I select email accounts, because I'm going to send these by email, and use the new radio button of Klipboard Money Pay by Link and hit display, this will show me all customers that I've already pre-configured to be payment link on statement customers. These are optional. You can choose who and who does not receive payment links. If I generate a statement for H0006, they will get an email out of the system with 3 balances on there, or however many balances you use for that matter of fact. There will probably be their current balance, their entire balance, and whichever terms that you apply to that customer, be it 30, 60 or 90 days. The email will go out as so, and within there is a PDF attachment of the statement that you will send. This will be headed up in your livery as per usual, like so. So here are the balances I would expect from that customer. They have a 30-day balance of £190, a 60-day balance of £58, and a total of £248.49. The accompanying email shows these. So you get an individual payment link for the appropriate balances or the entire balances with an accompanying QR code. The system cancels down the inappropriate links as the customer completes these. So for example, if the customer completed the 30-day balance link, paid their £58.39, the outstanding balance link would immediately become invalid. They no longer owe £248.49 in its entirety, because that needs the £48.39 reducing. The final point that I'd like to show you is payment link monitoring. So payment links can be monitored through a number of methods. However, the most obvious method and the most comprehensive method, in the Klipboard money menu that will be added to your Autopart system, you will have payment transactions. This gives you a screen that looks much like this, and if I remove the start date to give us some contextual data, you will see every link that has been issued to any customer for any type of transaction, be that ad hoc, face-to-face, cash retail, statement, whatever it may be. This would also include e-commerce. There are radio buttons in the top right hand corner to allow you to sort these and filter these down to an actionable list, and it will show you the status, the date that the payment link expires after a standard amount of time. It will show any reference numbers that have been captured on completed documents, any authorization codes, and all the other pertinent data that you might require. Because this is a grid in Autopart, you can right click and export this for your own manipulation. But aside from that, we've also created a standard set of Klipboard money reports that are deployed with new customers that help to give you some insight. That might be cross-comparing where payment links are being completed, the time to do them, the outstanding list of statement links, unallocated cash that's been paid on the ledger, which would happen in a retail setting if a document wasn't selected, any number of things, maybe where there's no match. So with the accompanying reports and the screen that shows you all outstanding payment links in any variable status, that will allow you full transparency to track through any link that's been published from the system that has been completed or in any state. So at a high level, there covers the important parts of Klipboard money at this point in time. We can transact face-to-face, we can transact via payment links, we can embed QR codes in those invoices through payment links, and indeed in statements, sending ad hoc links as a catch-all at the back of there. Thank you very much.